Yeah, welcome to this video. It's gonna be a bit of a different one. So I would suggest go and sit down, but maybe you're already doing that. So in this video I actually want to talk a bit about the mental side of moving to another country, at least how it feels for me or what things I noticed that are changed. I guess that's also really interesting to tell, I think, because of course you go through a lot of mental changes too. At least I felt that I did. So I want to tell you a bit about what changed for me. So the first thing I really noticed since all the things that happened last year and being on myself here from the beginning of this year, in the last 6 months, because it's now July, I feel that my mental health has gone up again. I feel more connected inside with myself. So I think my heart is really warmed up and filled with joy from being here in Sweden, being here in this just fantastic nature. It really has helped me to connect with myself again, calm down, and just get into a better mental state. And I think I've said this before, the nature, what it does here, it's actually quite interesting that just some trees, forest, lakes, just being outdoors loads of hours of the day can give you this feeling. Because in Netherlands the nature we had has never given me this feeling, not in this way. Of course I enjoyed it there, but it was more, you always heard a highway, cars, people, and here it's just so silent. Okay, we have wind now. It's been windy quite a lot here, which apparently is not normal, but you hear the wind through the leaves, which is a really nice sound to listen to, and which is really calming for me. You hear the trees sometimes crack a bit, like a grumpy old man in the wind, which is just like these simple sounds, like birds that are so happy that it's summer and chirping around all day and night actually now, because it's so light. You can hear them day and night. It's just, I don't know, it's just really nice sounds to listen to. It's, I think, a good thing that nature provides for us to calm down and not be stressed by work. And because I think that's what I noticed in the Netherlands. I felt not stressed, but since I've moved here, I felt I was stressed in the Netherlands actually, which is a bit weird to say, because in the Netherlands, I went to work back and forth with the bike, and I cycled in the weekends, and I think that was what I needed to de-stress from work, although I didn't feel the stress in a high amount. But since I've not been cycling here a lot, actually in comparison with the Netherlands, I didn't cycle at all. I think just being working, in the forest and being surrounded by trees and nature most of the time of the day, the stress level has even gone more down. As I already thought it was super low, but it was maybe not that low. So it's really different feeling with how I experience the stress part of life. I don't think now I feel stress when I'm working, when I get back from work. Of course there are stressful things what I told earlier in videos about the jobs and importing a car, for example, which was a bit stressful. But I think now over the last half year, with losing the job, having a bit more time for myself to really work on myself, get into a good mental flow, that really calmed me more down, and I was out in the forest loads and loads more for hikes and just sitting there enjoying the nature, drinking a coffee, watching at the fire. It's just fantastic to do. But of course it's not all positive, because also this big amount of no sounds, like silent, only birds or nature sounds, also kind of give a little bit of discomfort sometimes. When I did like my first overlanding trip of this year at the little lake that I was just parked next to, I was there actually quite early in the day, maybe around noon or so, and then I was sitting there, and I think it took me like 2 or 3 hours to calm down and just enjoy the nature. So I think also the big silence or have no people around sometimes gives also or kind of holds a mirror in front of you about you, like yeah, for me then, that you have to really look at yourself or turn into yourself with how you feel and what you maybe still haven't processed from earlier days or when you were a child or whatever. Because what I feel is like when you're really alone, that's where you kind of get the discomfort feelings in your, that are in your body that you didn't process before. And lately I've come to a point where I kind of hit the mental barrier. So that's something I need to work on, and I know that, and I think I know what to do with it. And I think that this less stressful feelings that I get here also gives me the ability to get through these points and can work on it. Because I think in the Netherlands it was just like a, what is it? Like on a machine, like being a robot, like go to work, do your things that you need to do after work, go shopping, but all the time you have like these trigger points, like everywhere there are people, everywhere there are cars, everywhere there's traffic, like all the time. At least for me, it didn't felt like I could calm down, but really calm down. And here, I don't know, if you just look here and I can be silent and you look at this for maybe an hour, then it's really calming. And of course you don't get the feeling of the forest and the trees, but I think slowing down, having a bit of a less hectic life really gives space to open up for other things that you maybe didn't process before, or just being more connected with your inner self. And I really think that's important. I've always, for the past, I don't know how many years, tried to do that, but I feel that it's a bit more easier here to connect with yourself, to have this inner peace feeling. And of course it's not always that feeling, because I think life always goes up and down with how you feel mentally or how you feel physically, or just with everything that happens. But I really feel that here in Sweden it's much better. To actually talk a bit more about the feeling of Sweden in general, I have to tell you a story about 2 years ago, because then I was on a trip through Norway all the way up to Trondheim, and Norway is beautiful. It's like maybe one of the most beautiful countries I've ever seen, with all the fjords and the mountains and the ocean, and it's just fantastic, really. So on that note, I'm really happy I am the neighbor of Norway, so I can go there quite easily. But it didn't give me the feeling that Sweden gives me, which was quite interesting. Because when I drove into Sweden, then this big forest appears, and then I felt like there was like something falling off my shoulder, like a really calm feeling. And that's maybe why I connected to Sweden, home feeling or a calm feeling. And now when I live here for over a year, it really confirms that feeling that I had 2 years ago. Sometimes the country can give you that feeling, apparently. In the Netherlands I never had that feeling. So in that way it was really interesting for me to feel that feeling when I just drove through a forest, because I was not even walking in a forest. So it was already with just driving around here in Sweden. So and then of course when I came here in last year in February, and seeing here all the beautiful mountains and forest and winter, and I think that really sparked the feeling of like having a peaceful place on this planet. And of course that's different for everybody, but yeah, here for me that gives me this feeling. What I've also noticed is that the people, for example, here have a bit of a different mindset, like not like this, yeah, everything needs to hurry up. Let's go in full gas and let's just finish things as fast as possible. And I think I'm slowly adjusting to this mindset because I don't feel that hurry anymore, or this feeling of, yeah, that you need to do everything as fast as possible. As an example, in the beginning when I came in the supermarket, there's like one register, or they have two, but they never have the second one open. And there were maybe 10 people in line. Everybody's just waiting, like, yeah, just looking around and waiting until their turn is there. And I came in a line, like, I was like, okay, don't they need to open another register? Because this is taking too much time. But then I thought, oh, okay, it's fine. I will wait. Maybe it took like 10-15 minutes before my turn was there. And now if I'm in the supermarket and there's like 10 people in front of me, I'm just like a Swedish person, like just chilling out, waiting, maybe listening to music if I have my music on. That's just a little example, of course, but I think my mindset is also a bit slower, more adjusted to the Swedish lagom, which means that everything has to be in balance. So maybe in the summer you work a bit more, in the winter you slow down a bit because of the darkness, of course. And I really think that's a powerful word, to have everything in balance. And I think also a balanced mindset is one important thing to have. Yeah, of course, it's not every day, like I said before, but I feel in general that it's really better now than the past 41 years in the Netherlands. Although I thought it was okay, but apparently it was not, which, yeah, still is a bit weird to say even, and to feel that it was not like that, because I always thought I was really unstressed, but apparently it could even be less stress. And also people that I spoke that were on like a travel here, they all kind of calmed down in the 2, 3, 4 weeks that they were here in Sweden, and then they already kind of feel stressed when they have to go back to their home country. So I guess it says a lot. Just being here surrounded with nature and not having to do so much things maybe calms your mind a bit more. So you maybe can open up for new ideas or new feelings or unprocessed things. Yeah, and I notice for me it's like that too. And I actually think that's really powerful, that you can feel what you feel and get to the point where it's coming from, and then start working on it, because I think that's progress and that's good for everybody to do every now and then. But I'm not gonna do a physiological talk here. Is it the correct word? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like a professor or doctor or whatever. It's just my own feelings that, yeah, at least the things that I feel, and that maybe can also work for somebody else. So yeah, this immigration to Sweden taught me a lot about myself, gave me new perspectives on my mental health, but also just how my body feels, because it feels different. I also feel like when I connect with new people or friends from before or whatever, that my boundaries shifted a little bit in like with having contact with somebody. I don't know if it's a positive or negative thing actually already, but yeah, I noticed that, how shall I say this? Like before, I always maybe run a bit too much for other people. Lately, I feel that I kind of set a boundary, like I go till here and then I just say like, hey, this is what I do or can do, and I'm not really crossing that boundary anymore, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. But I think it's good that I sense that I set these boundaries for myself to protect myself, and that's something I haven't done for a long time, which is also new for me to do that. And It's yeah, one way also a bit scary, because maybe that means you lose some people that you knew or just know or know already for a long time. I guess if you're not connecting on that part or not understand each other, then it is how it is. Yeah, I haven't figured it out all the way yet how I have to deal with these new feelings or new boundaries that I set for myself. But I noticed they are there and that they changed. And for me, until now, it feels like good. So I guess I continue with doing that for now, or feeling like this, that this is the right way to approach it. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to meet new people, because I really am, because that also feels much different here than in the Netherlands, because here the people are just so friendly, so heartwarming, open, welcoming to get to know each other. And that's really nice, because I think I have more friends here than I ever had in the Netherlands. And I guess the people that I connect with has a bit of the same energy, mindset, visions in life, like that kind of things. They also like nature, of course, because they live here in Sweden. So yeah, it's really all actually quite positive. And sometimes, of course, there are negative things or feelings from before that are really deep within me that come up. But as I said before, there's like one thing now that I have to deal with. But I think I have a good vision of how I want to do that, or how I can do it. And I guess overall it's really nice to have this new mental feeling, actually. Yeah, so with this I really hope this has given you some information about how you also can change mentally in this whole process, or maybe also when you're just gonna stay in your own country. I don't know if I really gave tips about how you can approach things, but maybe there's something in there for you that can help you, which I really hope, because loads of people have struggles with their mental health, the stress in life of working, all the things that they need to do besides working. So I really hope that even if it's like one little thing that I shared about how I approach it or how I feel here, that can help you. I really hope that there's something in here for you. And I think it's, for me, really important to share this information about how I feel and how I changed actually over the last months, because last year I couldn't do that really. So I guess this is it. It was a long talk. Hopefully it was interesting. I really hope to see you next week again. I'm really thankful for everybody that is new here and subscribed. I hope from now on you're gonna follow my journey here, because there's still enough to tell and enough to explore and show about this beautiful life here in Sweden. So until soon, next week, have a great week. That's it. Bye. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to meet. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to meet. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to meet.